Thanks so much for inviting me to the MR300 Impact Talks. Let's be short, let's be direct, let's be concrete. We have been so much impacted by Cartesian thinking. That means that we only focus on one problem at a time and we find one solution at a time. This is what we call linear thinking. I believe that the greatest problem we're facing when we're having climate change, poverty, and the incapacity to meet basic needs of everyone. The basic problem is that we don't see the whole, we don't see the connections, we don't see life as an ecosystem. As long as we do not have a multidisciplinary approach, an approach that allows us to see the interconnections between health and energy, water and food, food and jobs, if we don't see how everything is related, how the web of life has been created and continues to evolve, we will be in a total incapacity to respond to the transformation that is required. We have a problem. We have many problems, but time has arrived to stop talking about the problems. It is time to focus on the solutions. And when our analysis of the problems is focused on one at a time and our solutions are only one at a time, we are never going to get to any real transition. We need the multidisciplinary approach, which I call looking at the web of life. And therefore, we need to have people who are not only the entrepreneurs, or the scientists, or the policymakers, or the public at large, or the activists. We need all together in a web of life. And this web of life requires us to look at initiatives and actions whereby we see that not only everything is related, but the impact will have a multiplier effect. If you're only looking at cause and effect, you can very clearly calculate the impact of the causes, the impact of the effects you want to achieve, because you control the environment. But hard reality is that we do not control the environment, and therefore we have to simulate in a system how everything will have feedback loops. And when you have feedback loops, you will have multiple effects that you could not foresee, but you can simulate them. And therefore, the MR300 is an initiative that allows us to pull together and the policymaking and the science and the entrepreneurship and the action on the ground, because we do not need further discussions about philosophy. We need to have a focus on how to pass from talking to acting. And that acting needs to be an integrated, multidisciplinary, multifaceted action. Those initiatives can be concentrated on a very focal point. And a ship is probably one of the best utensils that we have. Yes, I call it a utensil, because you can simulate on a ship everything that you can have on an island. And an island is everything that you can simulate having on a piece of land. And a land you can imagine on the earth. We have been calling our earth Spaceship Earth. So the only way to move forward now is to get into action, to pass from a proof of concept to a proof of operation. And then we have to have the willingness and the capacity to roll it out and cover the world with this transition that will only be happening if we consider this the web of life. And our role is not to change life. Our role is to put nature back on its evolutionary path and ensure that when she is back on her evolutionary path, we will be in the capacity to play our modest role by creating the tensions and by creating the small triggers so that the whole system will move towards health and happiness. Thank you.